Today we're gonna talk about all the gear I use for my video production company on a daily basis. I love watching those type of videos and always wanted to create one myself, so I guess that's about to happen now. You'll also find links to everything in the description down below. So let's start with the bag. I used to use a camera bag for all of my gear when we traveled through Asia for a whole year while creating video content for international hotel brands. But as we mainly do commercial work for clients now, it looks much more professional to use cases like those right here. We use those cases mainly for our cameras and all of our lenses, but we also managed to fit in our wireless HDMI transmitter system as well as our wireless lav mic setup. So those two cases don't contain everything we use on a daily basis for client work. Anyways, let's start with the main things, cameras and lenses. Our main camera is the Sony a7S III. The 4K up to 120fps and 10-bit 422 is simply amazing to work with and to look at. But the HD is also pretty impressive and looks so much better than the HD from our other two cameras, which are two Sony a6300. I bought the first one back in 2016 and I loved it so much that I bought another one in 2018. And there were two reasons for it. Firstly, I wanted to have a second camera angle to film interviews. And secondly, since the a6300 is known to overheat pretty fast, I needed a backup camera to combat that whenever shooting for clients. We own two full-frame lenses, the 50mm 1.8 and the 28mm 2.0, and they both cover just about every focal length we usually need. We also own a couple of APS-C lenses, a 10-18mm 4.0, an 18-105 4.0, 35 1.8 and a 50mm 1.8. Up next, the Hollyland Mars 300 and the Rodelink. The Hollyland is a wireless transmitter which sends an HDMI signal from my camera to an external monitor. This is great for my wife as a producer to see live what I'm actually capturing, but also great for clients to keep them from peeking over my shoulder while I'm filming. Before I bought the Rodelink, I used to plug the lav mic via a super long extension cable into my audio recorder. And I still prefer it that way, but some projects require a wireless system whenever the person in front of the camera needs to roam around while he's being filmed. The very first audio recorder I bought is still the same one I use today, a Zoom H1N. It gets the job done and I use it for every project. I also use it to record all my YouTube videos. We also own two external 4K monitors. We use them both for interview setups to make sure whatever should be in focus is in focus. Because the displays on the a6300s are way too tiny to see if a shot is really in focus or not. But I also use them whenever I'm operating a gimbal. Same reason, plus this way I can add an HDMI transmitter to the setup and stream a live feed to the second monitor. Our gimbal is the DJI Ronin SC. It is able to balance every camera setup in our kit and is lighter than the Ronin S. And when you shoot for a whole day, you want your setup to be as light as possible. I also bought a second battery grip. That way I never run out of power. Plus, I bought a strap, which helps me to carry the gimbal all day more easily. Moving on to filters. The first one is a variable ND from K&F Concept. And the second one, a circular polarizer from Valimax. Combined with those step-down rings, I'm able to use them on every lens we own. Memory cards. For the a7S III, we use two Lexa 128. One is V90 and one is V60. The V90 is necessary to shoot 4K 120 and HD 240. But since we rarely use those modes, we also bought a V60 to make sure we don't run out of storage while filming. For the a6300s, we use SanDisk Extreme 128. They only cost a fraction since they are V30, but are good enough to record over 2 hours of 4K footage. Up next, Samsung tablet. Why a tablet, you might ask? Well, we use it as an external monitor whenever using the a7S III. Yep, that's right, you can pair it with the camera and transmit a live feed via an app. I'll make a separate video on that topic soon. And here are some quickfire items we use every day but aren't as fancy as cameras and lenses. A camera cleaning kit, microfiber cloth, cleaning swabs, a cleaning pan, and an air blower. Because it's always important to keep your gear clean. Camera and MPF style batteries. Nothing is worse than running out of power. Plus, those MPF batteries can power the external monitors, the HDMI transmitter, LED panels, and much more. Ultra thin HDMI cable. I use those for my gimbal setup because they don't mess up with the balance of the gimbal. Small rig cage. Those always stay on our cameras to protect them, obviously. Macro tubes. It's way cheaper to buy those for the occasional macro shot instead of a macro lens. And finally, small rig ball head clamp. These tiny things only cost like 15 bucks, but always come in handy whenever you need to mount something somewhere. Of course, there's more like tripods, lighting, sliders, and so on, but I think that's enough for this what's in my camera bag or camera case video. Let me know in the comments down below what your kit looks like, and yeah, until next time. Peace.